Today we're looking at a beautiful little action-adventure game that casts you as a roguish, sword-fighting fox who joins a rebellion against an evil empire of wicked crows, led by a power-hungry toad harboring intentions of becoming a soul-devouring god. It's a hot premise, weighed down by some issues, not least of which is a name so bland and unmemorable, I'm not sure I'll ever really be able to forgive whoever came up with it. Let's take a look at Stories, The Path of Destinies. Ugh, that's such a terrible name.
Bernardo and hot potato.
Despite having a title that's the equivalent of Tales, the Tale of Tales. No, wait, they're all animals. That's way better. Anyway, despite a title so generic that I feel weirdly personally offended by it, the game itself is built around a pretty clever premise. The protagonist, Renato the Fox, has acquired a magical book that allows him to view the branching paths of his future in an attempt to reach the one true ending where everybody lives happily ever after. Every run through the story plays out as a 5-chapter isometric action game, interspersed with storybook moments where the player gets to choose their own adventure. The initial choice, for example, is to either rescue Renato's slightly suspect best friend Lupino the Spy from the clutches of the Empire, or alternatively, to abandon his buddy in pursuit of a mystical artifact of immense power. Each decision leads to another pair of decisions, and so on, leading to one of the game's 24 different endings, though all but one of them ends in the hero's death, and most of them also include the complete annihilation of the universe to boot. At the conclusion of the tale, Renato reflects on the type of hero he was and what he learnt, and this knowledge carries over with him when the pages fly back to the beginning and the story starts over again. The stories are fun, full of character, and well told by an eager narrator, but the action in between is a little disappointing. Levels consist of searching for treasure and unlocking doors in an isometric maze, punctuated by fun but by-the-numbers Batman-style combat encounters. Players can level up, unlock new combat abilities, craft and upgrade magical swords, and equip status-changing gems, and while none of these systems are broken and the level of presentation and polish is high, nothing really feels truly integral to the game. It's as if they came up with the cool, repeated branching narrative concept first, and then just stuffed generic video game bits down the side to pad it out. Again, none of it's bad, everything looks and feels fantastic, and within an hour or two you unlock a handful of abilities that make the combat flashy and engaging, but I'd certainly grown tired of the repetitive levels and combat by my 5th run through the story to the proper ending, and I can't imagine how I'd endure unlocking all 24. And like Samuel Johnson says, when a man is tired of kicking a muscular birdman off the deck of an airship, he's tired of life. Toward the end of my time with the game, I felt less like I was choosing my own path to glory and more like I was whittling away my opportunities for failure, which is certainly a lot less empowering than following my destiny is supposed to feel. That said, for a while there I was completely charmed by Renato and company, and while the action falls short of the game's narrative ambition, it doesn't really do anything wrong. Your enjoyment of the game will largely depend on how well you respond to its fairy tale trappings, but since it's available at a budget price, it's probably worth taking a gamble on. The choice is yours. Ah, that's what they should have called it. That's also way better.
But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought.